Hello and welcome to today's session. Today we will be discussing India's anti-missile defense system, right? And the multi-layered shield against the ballistic and aerial threats. This is definitely helpful for UPSC and various other examinations. So why India needs anti-missile defense? So as we can see, India is bordered by hostile neighbors, right? Pakistan, China, right, and other nations as well. So definitely there are geopolitical threats from Pakistan and China, and again these countries are nuclear capable, and again there is a risk of this risk is growing, like growing risk of ballistic and cruise missiles, because even China is having ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and further missiles, and different types of cruise missiles, and even Pakistan. So therefore we need to gear up our struggle, and specifically the 1999 Kargil attack or the parliament attack, or what we see as the recent Operation Sindoor, the Pahalgam attack and Operation Sindoor. So definitely we should be having, we have, and we have the anti-missile defense systems. And let us just have a look into what type of anti-missile defense systems do we have, right? So first of all, what is the structure? What type of structure? What type of BMD means ballistic missile defense. So what type of ballistic missile defense do we have? Like we have definitely a multi-layered anti-missile defense system. So what are these layers? We'll see, right? And some mix of indigenous developments and international collaboration. So we have developed a lot on our own. DRDO is the primary vehicle for that, and also there are a lot of international collaborations. So at part of structure, what we see is there are basically three types, right? The first one is long range, then the next one is medium range, and the third one is short range defense, right, against missiles. So let's just hover into what is long range, medium range, and short range defense, and the other systems associated with it, right? So apart from that, if we see, there is a two tier system. See, apart from long range and short range, right? Apart from long range and short range, there is something called as exo atmospheric and endo atmospheric interception. Now what do you mean by exo atmospheric and endo atmospheric? So if this is the earth, and if we take this as the atmosphere of the earth, right, if we take this as the atmosphere of the earth, what we see is that just a second. Right, let's assume this is the endo atmosphere, like within the atmosphere it's approximately 30 kilometers as said, right? Exo atmosphere is outside the atmosphere. Now we can take a higher radius for this, and this can be said as exo, and this can be said as endo, right, where above 50 kilometers, right, this could be above, above 30, basically 50 to 100 kilometers, like approximately 50 to 100 kilometers altitude. Basically this is altitude, to that much height. So if we are dealing with anything in this range, right, we call it as exo atmospheric, and if you are dealing something within this range, we call it as endo atmospheric, right? So whatever missiles are coming into India, if you are dealing with what range we are dealing with, can be considered as into exo and endo atmospheric, right? Definitely to destroy the incoming missiles. So as far as the long range, first category we have seen long range, and apart from that long range, we have also seen, see, there is two categories, like range and exo and endo. So we have in the tier one, what we have is In the tier 1, what we have is, Prithvi air defense system, which is also called as pad systems. So pad, like, it is basically a long range and exo-atmospheric, right? So it intercepts at very high altitudes, like approximately 80 kilometers, as we have just said, 50 to 80 kilometers. And as far as range, it is having a range up to 2000 kilometers. Like, see, this is something called as range. So this distance that it can travel is 2000 kilometers, and the height, the altitude that it can go up to is like 80 kilometers. So I hope you got it. What is the range difference between range and altitude? Speed is Mach 5. Mach 5 is like 5 times the speed of sound, and started from 2006. And the type of radar that Prithvi missiles use is the Swordfish LRTR, that is long range radars, right? So this is the tier 1, and the next thing is tier 2. So in the tier 2, what we have? We have advanced air defense. And these advanced air defense are basically for endo-atmospheric medium range. So endo-atmospheric interceptors, like incoming missiles, will be intercepted not in the exo-atmosphere but within 30 kilometers altitude. Right? The speed is approximately 4.5 Mach, that is 4.5 times the speed of sound. And also it destroys surviving threats. Surviving threats means what? Whatever is left of. See, if we weren't able to deal with the threat in the exo atmosphere, we can deal with them in the endo atmosphere, right? Highly maneuverable, and it's a solid fuel. Highly maneuverable means what? We can adjust the maneuver, like the way it turns, it take turns, so that it can hit the target exactly, right? So in the tier 2 we have this. And within tier 2, we have various, within this medium range, we have various systems that are used. First thing is S400 Triumph SAM systems. It's basically SAM. SAM means what? Surface to air missiles, right? Surface to air missile systems. So surface to air missile systems. So S400 Triumph, we have been taking it from Russia, right? We have ordered 5 units, and the delivery started from 2021. Yet, one or two units are yet to be delivered, right? The range is up to 400 kilometers, and it's a multi-layered, means can intercept threats at different altitudes. See, actually, we can use S400 Triumphs for exo, right? For exo atmospheric as well, but we have Prithvi for that, therefore we don't use it, right? Therefore mostly it is used for used for the endo atmospheric threats, right? It's highly effective against ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and stealth aircrafts. So this is what S400 looks like. And next, in the same medium range, what we have is, let's say, Akash missile systems. Even though short range, also sometimes medium range, right? Indigenous. The basic thing is, we have developed it on our own. Indigenous surface to air missiles, 25 to 30 kilometers. It can target aircraft, cruise missiles, and UAVs. The Akash missile systems, right? Mostly it is used for medium range. Then next we have Barak 8 missiles. And these Barak 8 missiles are also basically long range surface to air missiles as far as range, but generally the Akash as well as the Barak, we intend to use it for medium range. It is jointly developed with Israel, the Barak missile, right? Jointly developed with Israel. Range is approximately 70 to 800 kilometers. Definitely fighter aircrafts, unmanned aerial vehicles, anti-ship missiles, all can be targeted, right? Medium range version is also there. Long range version is also there. Generally used by Navy, Air Force, and Army. So this is another missile that we use in our counter defense strategies. And these are basically for short range, right? So other indigenous SAM systems that we have developed, like QR SAM, so quick reaction surface to air missiles, XR SAM, and extended range. Now this extended range falls somewhere between long range and medium range. So falls somewhere between long range and medium range. So whatever gap is there, SR SAM is intended to fulfill or to be used for that particular gap which is left off. So we have a full-fledged defense systems covering long range, medium range, even the extended range including, and also the short range, right? And phase 2 of the missile development system, see, actually phase 1 lasted till 2019, right? Whatever the missile development systems were happening, the phase 1 is something is up to 2019, and from 2019 we call it as a phase 2 development of ballistic missile development systems or ballistic missile defense systems. So two types of missiles are being developed here, that is AD1 and AD2, right? They're basically used for IRBMs to target and ICBM. See, IRBMs is like inter-regional ballistic missiles, ICBM is like intercontinental ballistic missiles. They have a very high range, specifically ICBMs up to 5,000 kilometers, right? So AD1 and AD2 are used to target these type of missiles which are released by enemy country towards India. So AD1 is basically intercepts in the outside atmosphere itself. AD2 is a high speed kill vehicle mostly used for endospheric, right, endo atmospheric level. They are having hypersonic speeds. Now hypersonic speeds is something like Mach 6 and 7, right? Mach 6 or Mach 7 type of speeds. Basically more than Mach 5 is something called as hypersonic. So these are still under development, and these AD1 and AD2 are similar to third systems which are which actually United States is using currently, terminal high altitude area defense. The third system is used by United States of America. So our phase 2 AD1 and AD2 would be similar to the third system, right, and definitely integrated with the phase 1 systems that we are already using. So we also have a future plan for this. So currently what we have and future development, we have discussed this. And see, for these missiles to work, we need a radar and tracking system as well. See, because whenever a missile is launched, right, so we have a missile launch pad, enemy rocket is coming from here. Now this has to be intercepted somewhere in the middle, right, somewhere in the middle. So for this tracking we need the exact location, and for that location we need radars. So there are mobile radars as well as there are ground based air surveillance radars. These radars actually give the input to the missile launch pad or the radar guided missile that we are seeing here, so that this missile can accurately go and hit the enemy missile or intercept the enemy missile somewhere in the atmosphere, right? For that, radar and tracking is also highly important. So when we see this radar and tracking, we have two types of radar and tracking. That is, first we have is the swordfish radar. So swordfish radar is a variant of Israeli green pine radar. You can see the picture of swordfish radar, right? It has a range over 600 kilometers, so very long range. It can track 200 targets simultaneously at a time. It can track around 200 targets, so highly efficient, right? It's an active electronically scanned array radar integrated with the GSAT 7A satellites. So this is one type of radar that's currently in use. And apart from that, there is another radar called as Rajendra radar. Basically, this is an indigenously developed by DRDO. So our own, we have developed it on our own, right? Primary sensors for Akash weapon. So this Rajendra radar is primarily, responsible for the in the working of the Akash weapon systems. It can, for various roles, extensive search, tracking multiple targets and missiles, and also providing command guidance to the missiles. For various purposes, Rajendra radar is also used. It's a passive electronically scanned array radar, right? So it's a bit different from the swordfish radar that we have just seen. right? Uh, Apart from radars, what we see is this particular system, the entire missile and the radar system. Why do we need this? We need this to protect our cities, protect our infrastructure, right? Now, what do you think come under infrastructure? Various public sector units like big corporations, like even nuclear power plants, major cities. So specifically, Delhi and Mumbai can be easy targets for the enemies. Therefore, initially, these particular missile systems are planned to protect the Delhi and Mumbai, and again, which can be expandable to all major cities. So the deployment is also happening, and as we have just seen, we have a multi-layered missile defense system, right? So exo, atmospheric, endo, atmospheric. For exo atmosphere, we have a long range missile. Pad AD1 is also a long range missile. S-400 is a short range missile that we have bought it from Russia. And for endo, we have advanced air defense. Apart from that, AD2 missile, Barak 8 and Akash, right? So these are again medium range missiles, right? As we see again, other missiles like QRSAM and XRSAM. So for different type of threats, we have a fully functional multi-layered missile defense systems, right? Future, if you see, apart from these things, we are already developing hypersonic missiles, as we have seen AD1 and AD2, right? AD1 and AD2 are being developed. Apart from that, various other missiles are also being developed. Apart from the missiles, we are also working on laser-based interceptors, without using any missile, simply the guided lasers. And again, as far as radar systems that we have seen, two types of radar systems. Apart from that, space-based early warning systems are also being developed, right? So that monitoring can be done through satellites from space, and enhancing the integration with C4ISR, so that all these things can work in a prudent manner in future. So we have a nice future plan as well, and what we can see is that India has indigenous ballistic missile defense capability. So our capability, so far that we have discussed till now, so our capability is not dependent on any other country. Indigenous capability, even though we have bought some missile systems from various other countries, but still what we see is that we have a robust indigenous ballistic missile defense capability, and our capabilities are also integrated with S-400 systems, which is till date the most advanced, SAM, like surface to air missile systems, which was even recently used in Operation Sindoor as well, which were very helpful in countering the threats. Again, it can defend against nuclear missile attacks as well. So our defense systems can also tackle with nuclear missiles. Therefore, we definitely have a strategic deterrence. Definitely have a strategic deterrence for Pakistan and China, which is crucial for India. So I hope you got the idea for the anti-missile defense systems that we have. So that's it in this session. We'll meet for another session with a new topic. Thank you.